I'm here at Pocono Raceway for the first official track day of my 2020 Honda Civic Si after it has been engine swapped. Those of you that are new, this car for the better part of a year was in the process of going through an engine swap with a 2018 Honda Accord engine with the end goal of making it into a track capable car. Now, there has been a lot that has happened along the way. I'm not going to get into that. Link is going to be in the corner and description if you want to see all those videos on the engine swap. But today is the official testing day where we find out just how capable it is, what may or may not go wrong, and I have a few concerns I want to go over. Going into it, I was most worried about one, overheating, because the Type R is known for overheating, and I've done all the precautionary mods: upgraded radiator, turbo blanket, wrap down pipe, open grill, hood vents, basically everything you could possibly do, and in a lot of cases the Type R's still overheat. So I was definitely worried about that. And secondary, I was worried about electrical issues, because when you're doing an engine swap, it's just very common for engine electrical issues to come up, especially when you're reusing a wiring harness like I did. You splice it and use the SI ECU. So it's a little funny, and there's a lot that could go wrong there. Other than that, mechanically, I was not worried. These are known to be very reliable in terms of internals in the engine and transmissions. I did a bunch of service prior to going, so did the oil change, looked over everything, not a single drop of oil. Now, I was worried about maybe there could have been, a few months ago I had an issue with an axle seal leaking, so I was worried about that maybe happening again, but otherwise nothing too serious.
All right, I don't know if you guys can hear me. About to start my first lap. I'm shitting my pants. There's a Type R, 2 cars in front of us, which is cool. We'll see how we do against him. Somebody said they would, commented before that a Type R, a stock Type R, would absolutely walk my car. Now, I found that kind of funny, but you know, we'll find out in a second. And it is the first time the car's on track. I'm terrified. Mainly hoping for no overheating issues, no breakdowns, no leaks. Everything looked good when I did an oil change, not a drop. AC still going, if that's one thing, you know, at least I got AC. We're moving. Hopefully you guys can see. I haven't really done much track footage, so I'm hoping this is a good angle for you. I'm going to try out a few different ones. Let me know what you guys like. Let me know if you have suggestions. I'm also planning to set up some nice track telemetry in the future, so you can get the overlay of the track and my speed and G-forces and all that. For now, this is what we got, but I'm hoping to make it a little more exciting and give some better details in the future. Now, this first lap is going to be paced. I have been here before. We're going to take it nice and easy. I know I say I'm going to take it nice and easy, and that's probably not going to happen, but I'm really going to try to build up to it just in case, so I don't, you know, break anything, really test out the car's limits before getting super nutty. Not sure how to feel about these gloves. Man, I haven't been here in a while. I did miss this. I got some new shoes. Oh. This is a feeling I've missed. us the point by here.
I should mention, for those who are not familiar with this group, Track Night in America, it's non-competitive, so it's basically just a way to get on track affordably and have fun. But part of their conditions are passing is allowed, but it's point by only. So somebody has to indicate to you, if you're behind them, that they are letting you pass. Otherwise, you're not allowed to pass them. I'll talk about a few different flags you'll see on track throughout the video, but on the topic of passing, a blue flag would indicate to the person in front that they need to let the person behind them pass. If a station sees that they're holding someone up, they'll give them a blue flag, tell them to pass. Otherwise, if you don't let them pass after a blue flag, you get a black flag, and that'll mean come to the pit, and they have to give you a little talk.
I'm starting to feel like I need some better seats too. Flying around quite a bit here. Late in that braking zone. Holy shit, that was fast. I gotta brush off the dust here, guys. Uh-oh, looks like we're pitting. Car off track. Alright, it looks like they're getting a car off track right now. So far, so good though. No issues, car's running good, AC is back on. Thank God for AC. I mean, car feels good. I'm definitely a little rusty. I'm gonna build my way back up into it, try to feel out these turns. Can't even talk. The back straight is crazy fast. I mean, we hit almost 140 with ease. So, you know, by the end, we'll really build up to it.
For those that do not know, the collision mitigation system is designed to prevent you from rear-ending someone when you're not paying attention, which can be useful on the street, but when you're on the track and you're going 100 miles per hour and you're coming into a braking zone behind someone, the car thinks you're going to rear-end someone and it slams on the brakes. So if you're driving your 10th gen Civic on track, make sure you turn that off because it's gonna get in the way.
Oh my God!
Yellow flag means that there's something on track, some sort of caution. There might be debris, there might be somebody that spun out, but it's yellow, so it's not super serious. So what you're supposed to do is just drive slower and be more alert.
Man, I miss this feeling though.
session until the very end, which you'll see in a second. So I'll speed this up for the sake of time. I had a few passes, car was moving good, making good time and all, until at the very end, I had a check engine light come up. And you'll notice I don't look very surprised, and that's because this has kind of been an ongoing issue where it originally started with I had a check engine light, flashing check engine light indicates a misfire, pull over, it goes into limp mode, turn the car off, turn it back on, goes back to normal. And then I had a check engine light where I turned the car off, turned it back on, and it didn't go away. Changed the spark plugs, and it was normal again. Driving around, happened again, so I changed the coil packs. I had an extra set laying around, so I just threw them in, and it seemed good. Just driving around, a few hundred miles, happens again. And then this seemed to be happening every few 100,000 miles. It was very rare, but it would happen sometimes under acceleration. And then most recently, I had it happen, went into limp mode, did the whole thing, except when I turned the car off and turned it back on, the boost was oscillating, and it almost seemed like it was cutting power. So looked it over, I found a vacuum leak, and that was causing it to oscillate at high RPM. I fixed that, and it seemed great, and it had been good since then. I thought, okay, that might have been the underlying issue. I fixed it for good. However, as you'll see here on this day, it happened again. So I keep fixing all these small issues, but it seems like there's still some sort of underlying issue that keeps on causing this misfire code to come up, even though it doesn't seem like it's misfiring. The car runs great, and then it just throws the check engine light. So it's hard to really tell. Also, most of the time it happens, it doesn't read any codes on the K-tuner. So it's really hard to get a data log, and it's really hard to get a proper diagnosis. But there are some things I found at the end, which I'll also go over. Otherwise, throughout the session, the only other real bad things that were happening was it was getting really hot, which I'll also talk about at the end of the next session. And it was also the brakes were really hot as well. The wheel weights were literally melting off the wheels, so there is that as well. What you're seeing here is the start of the second session, coming out of the pace lap right now onto the main front straight, which will start the second lap. Let me know what you guys think of these angles. I'm trying out a few different ones, what you like, what you don't like, if you want to see something else. Again, I am kind of new to it, figuring out what works and what doesn't. So I mounted this one on the sunroof. I thought it was a nice angle. But I'm going to speed up some of this beginning portion of the session because it's still just nothing crazy happening. I don't want to bore you guys to death with these laps. But later in the session, it does get a lot more competitive. I was passing some cars, and then I had a really competitive battle with a C8, but then something happened. Right at the end of the straight, there's going to be a yellow flag. So everybody has to slow down, come to a stop, wait for the hazard. And you're going to notice right here in my mirror at the end of the straight, after we all slow down, this Corvette now catches up to me. So this C8 Corvette, he's going to be behind me for a little while, but there's a lot of traffic in front of me. So next couple minutes you're going to see is going to be me getting past a lot of cars and this Corvette following me basically the whole time. And then right at the end, I finally get past all the traffic in front, and then there's a bit of an opening for just basically me and this Corvette. And I was trying to see just how well he could keep up, because this was really the first car I saw that was keeping up very similar to the pace that I was doing. You'll notice in my passenger mirror at the end of the straightaway, he is pretty close to me. So he definitely has me beat in the straights. The car makes 384 wheel, which it's pretty good, especially for its weight, but the Corvette is definitely faster on the straightaways. And I'm also braking a little bit later because I'm trying to keep the car from overheating. So that's why he's catching up quite a bit there. But now we get stuck behind a Type R and a Corvette. And then right after I pass these two is finally when there's a good opening. And I notice the Corvette is behind me. And, I'll let him pass if I know he's faster than me. But I really want to see, all right, I'm going to push the car really hard and see if I can gain some distance on him. And if I can't, then I'll give him the point by, I'll let him pass by. But I was really pushing the car at the end here. noticed coming off the back straightaway, I was really pushing it, trying to get some distance on that Corvette, and I felt like I was pulling away from him. We get onto the front straight, and then we're coming into that corner, and, well, there goes the lights. And same thing as the first time, except actually it was showing a misfire code this time. On the K-Tuner, I had all the lights. There's lights all over the dash, and I was in limp mode. So just as I felt good about it, like I was, really pushing the car, it does this. So I had to do this basically lap of shame, limp it around the track, and pull back into the pits. This was the worst timing too, because it was right at the beginning of a lap, so I had to go all the way around the track in limp mode just to get back into the pit lane. And unfortunately, that's just how it is. After coming in early on the second session, I decided to opt out of going for the third, just in case there was something actually wrong with the car. And that essentially ended my track day there. So what did I learn since then? Quite a few things, actually. The overheating issue, I made one pretty dumb mistake, and that was that I forgot to turn off the AC. I talk about the AC so much, and I forgot to turn it off, which is going to put more stress on the engine, take away horsepower, and add more heat. So given that, and also Pocono Raceway, one, is not my favorite racetrack. NJMP is much better, but it is much more prone to overheating because you have these really long straightaways. Basically, it's just two massive straightaways followed by some really short turns in between. And that is just a recipe for overheating. Temps weren't crazy though. It was like mid-70s most of the day. So that is a little concerning because it wasn't too hot out, but the car was definitely getting too hot. Next time, I know, turn off the AC, and the other option I would have from here would be adding a secondary radiator, which I know other people have done and it will work well. So that is an option. And then in terms of the misfire issues, I decided to look over the car afterwards, and I found something I could not believe, and that was that my intake was slightly off center. I took it out, and some of the tape I used, and for reference, it's an SI MAF sensor with a Type R intake, and I used tape, I know, to try to make it fit better because it was just slightly off in diameter. And I guess the heat and the vacuum, I don't know how long it had been like this, but it sucked in part of the tape, and that was right after the MAF sensor, which, being that close to that sensor, blocking that much airflow, could likely cause a check engine light. So that may have been part of the issue. Also, should note that since this track day, it's been a few weeks, actually. I am late recording this video, but I haven't had any issues. The light has not come up again, so I don't know if maybe that is what was causing the issue. I don't know how long it had been like that, so if it was throwing off that reading, definitely could have caused some issues. And otherwise, everything else held up well. Even though it was cut a little short, there were no massive failures, no leaks, nothing catastrophic. So overall, I would consider the track day a success, and I was happy with it. I had a ton of fun. I definitely could have pushed the car harder, so I'm looking into, again, potentially the second radiator, and I'm hoping that I potentially just fix the issues with some of the misfires. Again, this is just one of the mysteries and some of the things that come along with engine swaps. You get these weird little bugs, and they're hard to find, especially being an early adopter of the swap. There's a lot that still has to be learned. And also, my axles are making some noise, but, we're not going to get into that right now. I would like to get on track again sometime this season, but I have to sort out the issues that I just mentioned. For the next video, I am planning on doing an exhaust / sound compilation. I think you guys will really appreciate it. The car makes a lot of really fun noises, so I'm excited for that one as well. And it's also a pretty easy video for me to make, so I should get it out pretty quickly. But that is all for this one. If you guys like this kind of stuff, car stuff, engine swaps, all that goodness, please consider subscribing. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the next one.